everyone, Karen here, and today it's time for the next card in the shape number series, 16. Now here I went with some fonts that were looked more like graffiti, and so I'm simply going to stack all these different layers together. I'm not going to use any foam in this card. And I'm also going to ink around the edge just to give it a little bit more depth, since we are using a lot of solid paper here. So let's go over the pieces. So we have all these layers which will go on top of each other. There's two that are very close together that we're going to outline like this. And then there's these three are a little bit more obvious, with the black layer being the back one, the biggest one in the back. All right, and then we will have a piece that you'll cut out that will cover the whole front of the card. There's a print and cut for the inside, which says celebrate big, laugh loud, and make unforgettable memories. Here's to an amazing year ahead. And there's a matte layer for that. And of course, you know, you can print these out and cut these out in whatever color you want. The base of the card looks like this. You'll cut it out like this on your machine, fold it in half. And then the happy and the birthday. Now I did already glue the dot for the I am birthday because I thought I might lose track of that. So I did glue that down ahead of time. All right, so let's get started here by putting some ink on the numbers on the front. We will put all this to the side. Let's see if I can keep this from sliding around. I'll put this over here. So let's start with the 6, with the 1 and the 6, the yellow one. This is the smallest ones. And these are the ones that will go in the front. So I'm going to pick up some yellow dandelion from Gina K. And I am going to go around the edge here. Just the edge of the numbers. Just to give it a little something something. So when you do that, let's see if I can get it here so you can see it. You can see down here, as it dries, it'll show up a little bit better. But it gives it just a little bit more of a rougher edge. It doesn't make it look so flat. So let's do the 6. And I'm going to do the center. I'm going to make sure I do this little center 0 here. The center of the 6 looks like an O. Now another way you can do this is to simply drag it across the paper. Now this will give you more coverage, but will also kind of catch more with the grain of the paper. So if you want to come across and just drag the ink, you also can do that. That makes it show up a little bit more. Let's see if I can get it here where you can see it. There we go. Now you can see all along in here. Because it doesn't give you complete coverage. It just kind of follows the grain of the paper. So we'll do some of that on this. Do a little darker on the top here. There we go. Like that. All right, so the black is the next layer. I'm not going to do anything with that because it's black. So let me close up the yellow. So we'll just start stacking these over here as we're done. Let me pull this down a little bit. All right, so the next layer I have is blue. So I'm going to use powder blue. And I think I'm just going to do the same thing. I think I'm just going to go across the edge. Now you can see this shows up a lot better on the blue than the yellow in the camera. And I'm just going to put some darker color here on the edge. Because we're not going to see all of this blue, because the layers will be on top of it. I just want to give it a little something. You can either flick it, or you can just lay it down and rub it all the way around. All right, let's see if that's enough. Oh yeah, that's enough. That'll be fine. All right, so now we have 3 of the layers done. So now we're going to go on to the next layer, which I have is red. But you know, you can do whatever color you want. I'm just going to go like this because it's a little quieter. And you'll see when I pick this up, see the striations here? It's following the grain of the paper. So when you rub it like that, once you find the grain of the paper, you can kind of go across and make it do a lot of different things. And, you know, all paper is different depending on how they make it. So look at the paper you have and see how doing that, you know, what kind of grain your paper has. You know, because all paper will look different. So that will go like that. Once again, I'm not going to bother with the black because it's black. So I'm thinking the happy birthday. I'm just going to dab some ink on here just to give it a little something. All right, that's probably good. Okay. There's birthday. And now let me grab happy. And this should be the last thing we're going to do. For inking, we'll just do a little dabbing, do a little dragging. Just to give it a little something. All right, and this is Kingston paper, so this has a little bit of a coating on it. So it is going to dry a little different. But that is just fine. All right, so let me move this out of the way. We'll start gluing this together. All right, so I'm going to grab the yellow, and we're just going to work our way down. All right, so we have yellow. Yellow will go on the black. And remember, whatever color you're using, it will be different. Just lay them out, smallest on top. See, now if you look at the one where I put no ink on it, this is where you can see the difference. There you see, this is kind of flat, and then this has a little more texture to it. All right. All right, this will just go in the center. And this gives you just a little kind of border around it. Like I said, we're going for a graffiti, comic book kind of thing. So here, you just want to make sure your center here is what's all lined up, and the rest of it will be fine. So now we will glue it onto the next layer, which I have is blue. And this will go in the center, like that. Let me get this on. And get this on. Now when you're lining this up, you want to center it with the outside because the inside here will be closer together. So let me move this one over just a tad. There we go. That's better. So see, they will be very close, just about touching there in the middle. All right, now we'll go to the next layer, which is the red. More glue. This will go in the center. Like that. Next is the black one. And this also goes in the center. That gives you a tiny border around, because all these borders are not the same size. The black is thinner. My camera's doing funny things with the light right now. All right, so the 16 is all set. So let's bring in the birthday. Okay, so we're going to start with the red and the black. So we're going to put some glue on the birthday. Let me get this in the center here. Get some of that excess ink off, glue. All right. And this just goes in the center. Now you could, let me show you something here with this. If you want to, you can, instead of putting it in the center, you can drag it down to the bottom right. And it would look like that. So see the difference here? So you can offset it or put it in the middle. Either way, your choice. It'll work either way. So put some glue on the back of this. And I centered that half, so I'm going to center this half. Now when you cut this out, there is a little bit that does hold the T and the H together. But in all that manhandling I gave it before I started taping, it came apart. So there's birthday. Now we're going to put this part on the green. And this will go in the center. All right. That's good. Now this goes on the black. All right, once again, the black is kind of thin. So we'll just put that in the center. Like that. There we go. Yep, that slid a little bit. There we go. All right, we'll let that dry. Now let's bring in the happy. We'll do the same thing again. Now if you prefer, you can go in the other direction, big to small. It's kind of a personal preference. Probably should be using my tweezers here. All right. Get this in the center. All right. Now for the green. And the green is going to peek through the black just a little bit in a couple of little places. You can see it does peek through. And now the black. Now we're ready to put all this together. All right, get that in the center. All right, give that a second to set up. All right, so let me grab the card base while all that dries a little bit. So let's glue the wording down. And once again, this is the only print and cut. Now, of course, just like the other ones, if you want to group them together and print them out in color, you absolutely can on your machine. All right, and this will go inside the card. This up, put this here in the middle. Alrighty. All right, now this is the front of the card, which will go across the whole thing. And you do need this because when you do line this up, just like with all the other cards, you lose just a little bit. Let's see if we can see that right there. See? Because that's flat. The card base itself is flat, but the card front is a little rounded. Because when you put the two halves together, when you're designing a card, you do lose a little bit of that end. So you always have to, have a cover for the front. That kind of goes across the whole shape of your card. So that's going to be here. And the happy will be up here. And the birthday will be down here. And that's all there is to it. So let's get this glued on. All right. this will go in the middle. So just follow along here to get it lined up. You're going to want equal spacing here. This glue is grabbing very quickly. So let's get this centered. That's better. There we go. There we go. Glue was already grabbing. Now when you get to here, if you put this on here and you're like, you know, I really don't like all those layers that are there, it's going to look a little, lean back a little bit. You can put a little piece of foam on here if you want to. It's a very thin foam, but I'm not going to worry about that today. Because with that being a graffiti font, I kind of want to keep it flat. So this will go on here. That will go in the middle. You'll see in a minute, as soon as I glue this on, it will be fine. All right, let's look at it from the side. See, it sits on there just fine, even with all these layers on here. Actually looks kind of cool. All right, so let's put birthday on here. All right, the same thing. Press it all down. So it sticks to all the layers. All right. That's sticking now. So now we need to attach it to the front of the card. And my bottle is dripping here. I'll have to look and see what's going on here. So we'll put glue all over the front of the card. All right. So this is flush. So we're just going to hold it with our hands, tap it down, grab it along the edge, make sure it's all lined up. Press down. There we go. We are finished with this cartoony, graffiti looking Happy Birthday 16. So if you like this, give me a thumbs up, because that is indeed how YouTube counts everything and gets me in feeds for people to see me. So please, give me a thumbs up. And if you would like to see the rest of these cards or all the other cards that will be coming up, as we're going to be starting Christmas here soon, subscribe and you can get a notification the next time I make a video. And until next time, stay crafty, my friends.